Welcome everybody. Okay, let's just get started with our ingredients on the table and the tools that we need, okay? So we need flour on the table. We need regular granulated sugar. And if you don't have an ingredient, please ask me, okay? We need brown sugar. We need 2 cups of bananas. And if you don't have 2 full cups of bananas and you did our class on Monday, you might have some pumpkin puree left over. You can use that, or you can use applesauce. So I actually don't have 2 cups of bananas, believe it or not. If the bananas are not ripe, that's okay. Just mash them up anyway. We're gonna mash them up with a fork later. You need 2, yes?
How many bananas is 2 cups of bananas?
Usually about 4, but so mine were tiny. So mine were actually 5 and it wasn't enough. So if you have, do you have like a measuring cup like this?
Yeah, like this, that's what you have.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can just, perfect. Just use that. Perfect. Those are big. Those are good. Hi. Oh my God. Hello. Hi. That is so cool. Oh my God. Hey, we've never baked together, girl.
That would be excellent. Let's make it happen.
Yes, we totally will. Okay, I love you. Okay. So cool. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're still going through our list of ingredients. We need 1 stick of butter. The recipe calls for salted butter, but don't worry, whatever you got, 1 stick of it. Today we can have salted or unsalted. We need salt. We need baking soda. Please read it. Baking soda and baking powder. And then we need cardamom. If you don't have cardamom, you can use cinnamon. It's totally fine. It's kind of a weird spice to have. I really like it. And so, if you are allowed to use the stove, good. If you're not allowed to use the stove, maybe you want to ask your parent to be there for just a moment because, well, for like 5 minutes. Because we're going to be browning butter. And this step is totally optional. If you don't want to do that, then don't do that. We're going to need a pot. I have one over here. You can't really see it. Can you see it? My pot's right here. Let's see. I'm moving stuff around. That will work totally. Yeah, whatever. Some kind of vessel to heat on the stove. You're gonna use a stove top. And please, if you're not familiar with that, please ask for help from an adult or an older sibling, okay? And you will also need a loaf pan to make your banana bread in. If you don't have that, please just use any kind of cake pan. It will totally work, okay? Even a cast iron skillet. Yes. Yes, that totally will work. Awesome. Okay, making sure everybody's muted. Okay, all right, if you need me to slow down, just unmute yourself, tell me to slow down, because it's hard. There's so many people here now, it's hard for me to, is it Ivy? Did you have a question?
Yes, Sarah and Ivy, but yeah, so our question is, we're halving the recipe, so do we just do everything but just make it half?
Exactly.
So would that be like 2 bananas?
Correct.
Okay.
Unless your bananas are really little like mine. Mine, I have 5 bananas, and I don't know if you can tell, but this is 2 cups right there, and my 5 little tiny bananas didn't fill up this cup, and they were frozen, so now there's like a bunch of water. So I'm gonna add some of my pumpkin puree from Monday to it. So that's my, perfect, that's awesome, perfect. Okay, we're gonna take the pot, we're gonna turn on, we're actually gonna put our butter in it. And I want you to have pot holders ready, okay? And I had this morning a surprise from my teacher, Chef Pavla, and she brought me pot holders. Look, and it says, live your dream, and this one says, you make me smile. How sweet is that? She came by this morning and just dropped that off for me. How very, very sweet. I love her so much. Anyway, okay, we're gonna turn on our stove, and I have to figure mine off because I have this weird stove top. So just turn on your stove to like medium heat, and will it let me do it? That's the question. Ah. There we go. Okay. Mine makes a bunch of noise. So what you want to do is you want to just heat up your butter until it's melted, and then once it's melted, you're gonna start stirring it for about 2 to 3 minutes. And you want to stir it so that it doesn't really burn, but we kind of, we're browning the butter. And the reason why we're doing that is because it develops a really nice nutty flavor. If you've ever, I don't know if any of your parents have ever taken any baking classes with me in the winter, in my German Christmas classes, we do that there too, and it's a really beautiful flavor. So we're elevating banana bread. So if you don't want to do the step with the stove, then please just wait until we're ready. You can just use a softened stick of butter. So for people that are just joining in, we are melting some butter in a pot on medium heat. And once it's melted, we're going to look at the clock and we're going to brown it for 2 to 3 minutes. And what you'll see is you'll see these brown bits on the bottom of the pot. And we're just going to do that. And then you need to have a place to put your pot when you're done with that, okay? So have your pot holders ready, please. For kids, I always like, if you have something to stick your hands in, that's really helpful because it's easier to hold it. And then you need to put the pot somewhere. So I don't have an actual, another burner. So I have another pot holder so I don't burn my counter. Is everybody doing good? Yeah? Okay, awesome. If you need me to repeat something, then please unmute yourself and let me know, okay? So my butter is all melted now, and I'm just going to make sure that it doesn't actually burn. It will get darker in color, and I'm going to look at my clock, and it's 11 almost. You can make a wish. Hold on. Is it 11:11 on the... I don't know if my clock's proper. Maya, what time is it? 11:10. Well, when it's 11:11, we should all make a wish. Okay. Oh, and it's April Fool's Day. Has anybody done any April Fool's jokes today?
My mom pranked me.
Your mom pranked you? Somebody was trying to prank me earlier too. I'm gonna check my volume. This is so...
I made these little E's that were I just drew on a piece of paper an E with brown, and I was just like, hey, I told my brother, hey, do you want a brownie? And he was just like, yeah. So I gave him the brown E.
That's awesome. That's so cool. All right. So
our butter is boiling. Is that okay? I turned it down to a low.
yeah, so you actually want a kind of medium heat because what you're doing is you're browning it, right? So if you have it on really low heat, then it will take forever. So just you can kind of keep. I have mine on pretty high heat too, like medium-ish high, and just make sure you keep stirring it. Mine is already. I can smell it. It's foaming. So it's foaming and I can smell it really
It's
strongly.
11:12, so
Say that again?
it's 11:12.
Oh, we forgot to make a wish now. I got all excited about well, tomorrow. We can try again tomorrow to make a wish. So mine is starting to have some color to it, like a pale yellow, maybe. There's definitely like this white foam on the top. And so mine has been in here now. Yeah, now I see some little brown bits, so I'm going to turn my stove off and I'm going to set my pot over to the side. Okay? When you're done with that, I want you to just come to the screen, and I need to make sure that I can see everybody. I need you to come to the screen and give me a thumbs up. So I know that your stove is off. I know that your pot is sitting somewhere secure and you're ready for the next step. Okay, awesome. I got that. So I just want to make sure everybody's at the same place. Keep your pot holders close. And when you're ready with that step, you can take your spice, so either cardamom or cinnamon, and you're going to put the spice into that butter. Okay? Which is basically, you call that blooming. Yes. Is that clear?
I'm not sure if mine's done or not. Is this look not sure?
Yeah, that looks good.
How much cardamom do we need?
One teaspoon and a quarter teaspoon. So 1 full teaspoon, and then then the tiniest one that you have.
I don't know if it's done.
Well, how long did you? So what you're looking for in your butter? Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I'm gonna burn. Okay, listen. There's too many people unmuted right now. Hold on 1 second. What you're looking for? I'm gonna mute you guys for a second so you can hear me. What you're looking for is there little brown specks on the bottom of your pot. Okay, the butter has turned kind of a gold color, and it has little brown spots on the bottom. So if you're not there yet, then keep cooking it for a moment longer, and then add your spice to it. So either 1 1/4 teaspoons of cardamom or 1 1/4 teaspoons of cinnamon. And then you just give that a stir. So your butter should have little little brown spots. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah? Okay, awesome.
I don't know which one to use.
Which spoon measure to use? Okay, I'll show you. That's a good question. Okay, so look at your spoon measures, okay? You have 4, right? The very big one, this one is a tablespoon. Okay, we won't actually use that one today until the very end. The next one, the next big one is a teaspoon. So you're gonna use 1 of those. And you see, look at your teaspoon, and it says 1, and then it says the little letter TSP. That's a teaspoon. So you're gonna use 1 of those, and then you're gonna use the tiniest one. Those 2 is in the middle one you're not using right now. Did that help? Yes?
Okay, Pascal.
Yes.
I'm adding cinnamon and nutmeg, and you said not to add a ton of nutmeg.
Yeah.
How much nutmeg?
I would add maybe I don't know, a couple of pinches.
Yeah.
Unless you really like nutmeg. Nutmeg can overpower really fast. A 1/4 teaspoon is probably going to be okay, but I wouldn't, definitely not more than that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, is it Bernice? Bernice? I'm going to unmute you for a second if I can. Let's see. Bernice, did that help? Yes, did that, you understand now? Okay. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, anybody else have a question?
Can y'all hear us now?
Okay, hold on, there's multiple people now. Maya, what did you say?
Should I stir in cinnamon?
Yes, stir the cinnamon in your butter.
How much do you put in the butter?
You're gonna put 1¼ teaspoon. So 1 full teaspoon and 1 of the tiny ones. Okay?
Can y'all hear us now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Did you have a question?
Say no. No.
Okay, so I'm gonna mute you again, and then if you have a question, just unmute yourself, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Edmo, you're funny. You're cracking me up there. Okay, let's see. Anybody else? So what we have done so far is we browned the butter, if that's what you're doing, and you added the spice to this, okay? You guys have this? Yes? No? Somebody just tell me if you need me to wait.
Did y'all already make the batter?
No, we just started. So what we did is, Aiden, is it Aiden who just talked to me? Hold on, somebody is not muted. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. All right. Aiden and Tannen and Kaysen, listen, guys. All we did so far is we melted the butter in a pot. The 1 stick of butter, we melted that in the pot, and we cooked it kind of on medium to high heat until it had like little brown flecks on the bottom. So basically, it's about 2-3 minutes, okay?
Yes, ma'am, we got that all right.
Okay, awesome. And then you add your spice to it. And again, I forgot to tell you guys to wash your hands. I'm assuming you guys did that. I should really make a big note saying like, wash your hands.
Thank you.
Al, over here, you go first.
Is it Claire?
Oven.
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah, should we preheat our oven?
That's a good question. Thank you. We're gonna do that next. Yes, I just wanted to get the butter out of the way. So now, thank you, Claire. Now we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. 350 degrees, guys and girls. Okay. All right. So it's 350 degrees for the oven, please. So we did the dangerous part, is almost over. That's good. All right, now, everybody ready? Yes? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Oh, and make sure your rack is in the middle. I forget to say that too. So open your oven for a second before it gets hot. Check that your rack of your oven is in the middle. Like, so that when you're baking it, it's in the right position. And there's nothing in there like your little sister's doll or something, or some tennis shoes of your brother's. Okay. All right, here we go. Next, what we're gonna do, in our mixing bowl, you can use a mixer, you can use a bowl, you can use a spatula, whatever you have. You can use a hand mixer, whatever you got will work, so don't worry, okay? I'm gonna use my mixer today because I haven't used it in a while, and we're gonna measure out 2 cups of flour. So that's the biggest cup measurer, and you need something like a butter knife or an offset spatula or something to kind of swipe over it to measure it out correctly. So you're gonna dip it in your bag. It's easier to dip it in the bag than to pour it into your container, okay? And then you're just gonna wipe right above. There's only one ingredient that is packed into a cup measurer that is not flour, okay? So you don't want to pack it in. You just lightly fill it and you put it into your mixing bowl. The only ingredient, who knows what the ingredient is that you get to pack?
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar, that's right. You're always the first one. You know that I'm asking that question too. Okay, all right, so 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour if you have it. If you are gluten-free, you can also just use gluten-free flour for this. You know, the like all-in-one kind of gluten-free flour will work. So, I'll wait for you guys. I can see some of you guys are still doing that. So dipping into the container is usually easier than filling a cup measure. If you're halving the recipe, you know what to do.
I have a question. Do I put it in my stand mixer?
If you have a stand mixer, yes please. If you don't have a
Okay.
stand mixer, just a regular bowl.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll see people putting their flour away. And yeah, that's a good point. You guys can put your ingredients away as we're using them, since you're at home, and then it's already almost cleaned up again, right? Okay. In this mixing bowl also, we will measure 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, so teaspoon is not a tablespoon. Remember, look at your teaspoon measures. Please always make sure it's the right measurement. The big one, the big teaspoon measure we won't use until the very end. So it's the next biggest one, 1 teaspoon. And what you do is you dip it into your baking soda and then you just wipe it along the edge like this, and then it's level. And then you just dump that right into your flour, and then you put that container away because we don't need that anymore today. And if you don't have baking soda, yesterday we figured it out, like sometimes it's in the refrigerator to make your refrigerator taste, smell better, not taste better, but smell better.
I put 2 cups of flour, right?
Correct, 2 cups of flour. Yes. And then you're going to we need 1 teaspoon of baking powder, okay? 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So we have in our bowl 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Got that? Give me a thumbs up if you have that so I know. Okay, because everybody works at a different speed. Yes? Awesome. Awesome, good. All right, next. In here, also, 1 teaspoon of salt. I use kosher salt. Kosher salt is a little bit grainier than table salt. If you only have table salt, please, most people don't actually have that anymore, I think, I don't know. If you only have table salt, that like really, really fine stuff, use half of it. Yeah, the Morton is correct. You can use that. That's just like mine. So yeah, and then just put that salt in there, and then put
Wait, how much salt?
1 teaspoon. The
Why
same,
is this?
the same measure that we've been using all along.
Why is this? Did you see that?
You have table salt, you use half a teaspoon?
How much salt?
Hold on. 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon.
Miss, can I use this?
Hold on. Let me see.
Wait, if you have table salt,
Yes. You can use that. Pure sea salt. I see that. I need my glasses. I have big giant glasses now. Okay. Awesome. Anybody else have a question? Claire?
half.
Hold on 1 second,
If
Iris.
you have table salt,
Sorry, I
if
can't.
you have table salt, you use half of it.
Yeah, if you have table salt, use half of it,
Use-
please. It's so much saltier and grainier. I would not. And then Iris, did you have a question?
Yeah. My salt, like the kosher salt that I'm using, looks like bigger than regular salt. Is that okay?
It'll be totally fine. Yes.
Yeah.
it might actually give you that little bit of a kick, like when you're eating it, like you get that little speck of saltiness, which is really nice when you're doing something salty, so sweet. Okay, now put your salt away, okay? Just put it right away where it belongs. You can put your spice away where it belongs. We can just clean up along the way today. If you've never been in my classroom before, I am a big proponent of you guys cleaning up after yourselves and not making your parents do it if you're baking with me. So, right? Maya, you know that, right? Yeah. Iris knows that too. And I think a few of you guys know that too. So just clean up after yourself. That way your parents will let you bake a lot more. All right,
And
so.
Mom always makes us clean up after ourselves after we bake, so yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's right. It's a good habit to have. Awesome. Okay, we have now in here 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt. Yes? All right. Next, we're putting in here 3/4 cups of brown sugar packed into your container. That is your smallest cup measure. It says 1, and then it has a dash, and then it has a number 4. 1/4, okay? It's the smallest one. And you're gonna dip that into your brown sugar. Mine is all super lumpy, so I'm just gonna break that up. And then you're gonna like pack it in there.
I've got a question.
Yes.
So we're doing a half recipe. How do we do 1/4 a cup?
It's
1/8 cup, I
6 tablespoons, I believe.
Okay.
But I'll try it. Let me try it out. Hold on. I'm gonna put this in here real quick, and then let me try it out. Okay? We can, or maybe you can also check it. Measure out 12 tablespoons and see if that fits in a 3/4 cup. This is a good question. 3/4 cup, so 3 times the little one. Okay? The littlest one. My hands are full of it. Okay, I'm gonna try this out for you right now. Hold on. That would be 1.
Ma'am, sorry.
Yes.
The smallest one that I have is half a cup.
Okay, so fill it halfway. No, wait. No. Half a cup. So fill that 1 time full and then 1 time halfway.
Okay. Brown sugar, you said.
Brown sugar, and you pack it in. You kind of squish it down.
Perfect.
Okay, now I lost track. I think it's. I'm pretty sure it's 6 tablespoons actually.
Actually, if you're halving the recipe, you could just do 1/4 cup plus another 1/2 cup.
Yes, you could do that too. Thank you. You could do that too. Okay, my hands are really sticky right now. Did you understand that? Was it you who asked that question? Who asked me that question? Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so did you hear what Maya said? She said to either do what I said, which is to 6 tablespoons, or you hold on, my mouse.
Yeah, I think we're gonna.
Okay, I can't hear anything at the moment. I think there's a Mo. If you could mute yourself, please. There we go. Okay, now Ivy and Sarah. Can you say that to me again? For some reason, it all froze.
Oh, yeah, we're good. We're doing 6 tablespoons.
Okay, awesome.
We're set.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. Okay, now where we're at. Brown sugar goes away. Okay, next we need. Anybody have a question? Yes, Nicole.
What step are we on?
We have in our mixing bowl, we have 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 cups of brown sugar.
Okay.
Got that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right. Somebody is not muted. Let me double check who that is. There. Okay, down here. Okay, awesome. All right, next. Okay, next, what are we doing? We are gonna add 2 eggs to this. And I recommend you crack the eggs in a separate container, so just in case we have some eggshells, right? And here's the thing, parents, if you let your kids crack the eggs. It's a really good practice, and also if you can, let them separate the egg yolk from the egg white just for the fun of it, okay? Because it's a really good practice, especially if we ever want to do something with meringue, to learn how to separate eggs, okay? So you could literally just practice. I'm gonna practice, because it's always good to practice. I'm gonna separate this, see? And there's no eggshells. I'm gonna put the egg yolk in there, and then I'm gonna put the egg white in there, because I don't really need it separated. I'm just practicing. And then I'm gonna do it to the other one. Crack it, open it up, and I'm just gonna go back and forth, and then I'll plop it in there. Okay, and now go wash your hands, put the eggshells in the trash, and wash your hands, please.
Miss Pascal,
Yes,
quick question. Do the eggs go in the dry ingredient?
yes, just plop it right into the dry ingredients. Good question. Just pop it right in there. Okay. And then you have your,
Sorry,
yes,
but do we have to whisk the eggs before putting them in here?
no. No, it's a super simple recipe. Don't have to do anything but just pop them right in there. Okay, in our bowl, I'm gonna repeat again because everybody's moving at a different speed, okay? 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. We have 3/4 cups of brown sugar in here. We now have 2 eggs in here. Next, we're going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla if you have any. If you don't have it, don't worry, okay? Vanilla extract. And I don't know where mine is. Oh, here, okay. All right, so 2 teaspoons, which is not the tablespoon, right? 2 teaspoons. And we're gonna plop that right in there too. 1 and 2. Okay, and then you put your vanilla away.
One tablespoon.
You just did 1 tablespoon of vanilla? Yeah, it's okay. Just put that in. It'll be good. Don't, it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, all right, next. Bananas. So, we need 2 cups of bananas. It'd be good if you would measure it. If you don't want to measure it, it's about 4 medium, large size bananas, and we're gonna mash them. If you have them frozen like I did, pop them in the microwave in a microwavable bowl for like 45 seconds, okay? That's what I had to do this morning. I'm gonna mash this up with a fork in a big container like this. If you have a masher, like a potato masher for making mashed potatoes, you can do that. The reason why we do that is because we don't want to overmix the batter later, because otherwise we'll have a flat banana bread. So just mash it up with your fork, like so. Hold on to the container so it doesn't fall over. And because I don't have actually a full 2 cups, I'm gonna add some of the pumpkin puree that I had left over from Monday. And I'm just gonna add that just so that I have a full 2 cups. You don't have to do that, but I don't really have any other use for that pumpkin puree right now. So I don't wanna waste anything at the moment. Everything feels a little bit more precious right now. Yes?
So we just put the bananas in the bowl with the
Right now we haven't added the bananas yet. You're just putting them in a separate...
ingredients, right?
Claire, are you putting them in a separate container as of right now? Because what we're doing is we're mashing them, right? We don't want big pieces of banana in there right now. So we're mashing them. Okay. And when you have that, will you please give me a thumbs up? If I'm going too fast, please let me know. If you're bored, go put your dirty dishes in the sink. Or put some ingredients away. And get your pan. Yes.
So I didn't have any bananas, so what I'm doing is I'm doing a cup of puree, and I don't have enough, so I'm doing a cup of puree with some yogurt.
Nice. Will you tell me how that turns out?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, sure. So do I need 2 cups of that or just 1 cup?
So, if you're using 1 cup of puree and 1 cup of yogurt, that makes 2 cups. So yes, makes sense. And if you're using puree, maybe you can add a little bit more spice, maybe another 1/4 teaspoon of spice.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Yes.
Hey, Pascal,
Yes.
my 2 cups of bananas, when I mash them, came to be like a little over a cup of banana. Is that okay?
Yes, it'll be fine. Did you bake with us on Monday? Did you have some puree left over from the pumpkin puree?
We did the blueberry.
Okay.
We have one more banana. More
We
bananas?
can add another banana.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, really, just the more bananas you have, the more flavor you have of banana, right? But I understand bananas might be precious. You might want them for a smoothie later.
We have
So-
frozen one thing.
Okay, good. I used up all my frozen ones. No more smoothies for me for a while. Okay, if you're done with that, grease your pan, please. So you need a loaf pan. If you don't have a big loaf pan, you can use 2 little ones. If you don't have a loaf pan at all, you can use a square one, a rectangular one.
Is this big enough?
Yes.
Okay. Do I mix it?
We're gonna mix it together in a second. And yes, you can also use cupcake pans. But here's what's important, guys. We need to grease this well, right? So you can use the wrapper from your butter, or if you have a spray, you can use a spray, or you can use oil, or just a piece of butter. But it needs to be greased really well. And if you have parchment paper, it'd be really good if you could put a piece of parchment paper in the bottom of your pan.
Miss Pascal,
Yes.
could we make it into muffins?
Yes, totally. Make it into muffins. If you have muffin liners, if you're using a cupcake pan or a muffin pan, if you have liners, that would be ideal. You don't need to grease it. Just put the liners in. Okay? Yes, Iris.
Can I use canola oil?
Totally. I'm using canola oil too, by the way.
Can I use this? So we just
Yes, you can. Absolutely. So listen, when you're spraying with spray, be careful. Do it like over the sink or something, because I've sprayed it before and like over the floor and then made the floor slippery. Like just even like holding it at like hip level. And then you can either use your hands, gives you another excuse to wash your hands again, to just rub it around, or use the wrapper.
Miss Pascal. So
Yes? Hold on. Somebody, I need to move. Hold on. Okay, yes? Is it Izzy? Did you have a question, Izzy? Claire, you had a question?
Yeah, your audio is glitching a lot, so I'm not sure what to do with the bananas.
Okay, sorry. I don't know why that's happening. Hold on. There's people that need to mute themselves. If you're not muted, hold on. Somebody. Okay. Can everybody hear me? mashing the bananas in a separate container. You're just mashing them. Did you do that, or did you put them in the big mixing bowl? Unmute yourself, Claire.
I mashed them before
Okay.
I had prepared all the ingredients before this started, so yeah, they're mashed.
Okay, awesome. Good. Okay, so your pan needs to be hold on. Okay. Your pan needs to be prepared. So what you're doing is you're gonna grease it. If you don't have parchment paper, then I want you to put a little bit of flour on the bottom of this. I'm gonna just do that because I don't want to mess with parchment paper right now. And I'm just gonna put some.
Let's go.
Yeah,
You know how we're making cupcakes tomorrow?
yeah.
How many?
Of the cupcakes, probably I'm gonna halve my recipe because otherwise you guys are gonna drown in cupcakes. So we'll probably do like 12.
Okay.
And then you can also halve that recipe and just make 6.
Miss Pascal,
Yes?
do we have to put flour at the bottom of the pan?
I would do it if you don't have parchment paper because otherwise your banana bread will not come out. Okay?
Flour.
I used like maybe a couple of tablespoons and I just shake it around so you want it nice and covered. And then any excess you can dump out into the trash or somewhere else.
A question.
Yes.
So, if we're spraying our pan, can we use parchment paper too?
Yes, totally. But you can just put your pan on the parchment paper and then just trace it around with a pencil and then cut it out a little bit smaller. Yes?
Should we flour the entire pan or just the bottom?
Just the bottom is enough. The sides they come off really easy because you can run a knife along the edge, right? It's just for the bottom.
And is this okay?
Perfect. Looks great. Thank you for showing me. Okay. Are we all here? Can you show me your pans, please, so I can see that you have your pans ready? Okay, you're ready. I don't see Claire. You guys have it. Perfect. Yes. Yes.
Oh, hey, Pascal, I've got a quick question.
Yes, Nolan?
When do we add the butter to the mixture or to our ingredients?
We will do that in a second. We have 3 containers at the moment. We have our dry ingredients with our egg, we have our mashed stuff, and we have our butter, right? So now we're gonna add everything together. We're gonna put everything into our mixing bowl, okay? I'm adding my banana and leftover pumpkin puree. Use a rubber spatula to get every bit of it out. Put your container in the sink.
Does that include the butter?
The butter comes next. We're gonna add the butter next. And then if your pot is still hot, please be careful. Use pot holders. I'm gonna check mine. Mine is not hot anymore, so but I'll do it just so to keep everybody safe. Use get help if you need help. If it's too heavy, my pot is really heavy, and just scrape every bit of it in there. Okay, we're almost there. Your oven should be preheated, right? Is it Ella and Taya? Did you guys have a question?
Yes.
Yes.
Have we added the bananas to the mixture already?
Yes, everything should be in there now. So just,
Okay.
I'll wait until everybody's there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so everything should be in your mixing bowl now. Whatever mixing bowl you're using. If you're using a mixing bowl by hand, if you're using a stand mixer like I am, or if you're using a hand mixer, okay? But don't start mixing yet, please, wait. Because I need to talk to you guys about this mixing thing. Because this is important for you to have a good banana bread. Okay, so I'm putting my attachment, my paddle attachment. You don't want to use a whisk attachment unless you're using a hand mixer. You use not the, I don't know if I even have it. You don't want to use this attachment. You want to use the other one, which looks like that, right? And for your stand mixer, you want to use a paddle attachment. Make sure your bowl is secure, and then you can lower the head. Make sure these attachment things are all secure. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on, I think I just crashed.
Yeah, me either. Can anybody hear her? No.
I should be back now. Can you hear me?
Audio too.
Yeah.
Hold on.
No, I can't hear her.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I lost you. I don't know what just happened. Something just happened.
Miss Pascal, can we use this type of thing for the electric mixer?
Yes, totally.
Pascal, are these good?
Yes, perfect. Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. Something just...
Spatula?
You can use a spatula, absolutely. We're now just, but don't start anything yet. I'm gonna talk to you guys about the mixing. Okay, all right, sorry about that glitch, that was weird. So, here's what's important. You do not wanna overmix this, okay? I tell the kids in my class, 20 seconds maybe, and do it for 20 seconds on medium speed, stop, scrape the bowl, then do another 20 seconds. If you're doing it with a rubber spatula, count to like 35. What you want to make sure is that there's no dry ingredients. Everything is incorporated. Hold on, Mo, I see you, hold on. And you don't want to overmix this because what happens is if you overmix it, gluten gets too developed and then it won't, the gluten strands are like muscles, and if they get really strong by overmixing it, it won't be able to rise, okay? So don't overmix it. It says until incorporated, means just mix it together until it becomes uniform. And Mo, you had a question. Hold on, I can't hear you. Can you unmute your...
Okay, I was going to add some chocolate chips. Is that okay?
Totally, absolutely. Have fun with this. Add some chocolate chips. Yes. Good idea. Anybody else have a question? Okay, I'm gonna start my mixer. I'm gonna do it on... Yes.
What kind of nut would be good if I were to put nuts in it and you could make nut bread?
I think you could put, what would put hazelnut? No, walnuts, hazelnuts. Most people don't have. Walnuts, pecans would be good. That's a great question. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If we're using like we're not using a mixer, like
Yeah, just use a spoon. You can just use a spoon and just
a whisk, and no.
don't use a whisk because it's probably gonna be too tough to get through that. Just use like a wooden spoon or a rubber spatula. I think what you just showed me would totally work, okay? Just mix it until it comes together. Once it's smooth, you stop, okay? So I'm gonna scrape my bowl. Make sure that nothing is stuck on the bottom. So you don't wanna see any flour sticking around anywhere. Okay, somebody is not muted, and do you have a question? I'm not sure who that is. Okay. All right. I'm pretty much done. So your oven should be preheated by now. And your your baking pan is greased and floured or has parchment paper in it. And then we're going to fill, I get every bit of it, of my beater off, so that like, I don't waste any goodness. Yes.
Miss Pascal,
Yes.
is this okay?
Hold on, it's a little glitchy at the moment. Let me move it over. Hold on one second, guys. Who is asking me?
How long will we be putting this in the oven for?
Good question. So we're gonna put it in the oven for 50 to 55 minutes at 350 degrees until the toothpick inserted comes out clean. You can do one more step before you put it in the oven, which is you can take 1 tablespoon of granulated white sugar and sprinkle it on the top before you put it in, okay?
Miss Pascal, is this okay?
Thank you.
Yes, that looks great. You're welcome, thank you. That looks great, awesome. Anybody else?
Miss Pascal?
Yes.
How long do you cook it for if we're using these like mini loaves?
Okay, so when you're using, that's a good question. Some people are doing cupcakes, mini loaves. That's a really good question. I would say do it, check it at like about 15 minutes, okay? And then if it's not done, go a little bit longer. Do it, like it probably will bake longer than cupcakes would because of the amount of moisture that's in there. Okay? Yes. Hold on, there's multiple people. Is it Dylan, did you have a question?
How long do we cook it for?
If you're doing a loaf pan, about 55 minutes. So everybody has different vessels. So how about this? I will mute everybody for right now, and then you're gonna go one by one. I'm gonna go and call you. Maya, is Maya still there? No, I don't see Maya right now. I have Max and Maya, what kind of pan do you have? Can you show me?
Sorry, I was in the middle of washing my hands.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, so yours probably will bake around 55 minutes. 50 to 55 minutes, okay? All right, next person I have. I'll come to you. Hold on one second, okay? I'll go one by one. Max and Janine. What are you guys baking in? Perfect. Okay, so also check that at like, yours is maybe a little bit smaller than mine. 50, 45 minutes, something like that, okay? And then I have Finley. What are you baking in? Awesome. Okay, also, yes, 55 minutes. And then I have Ivy and Sarah, you guys have smaller ones, right?
We're doing the half batch and we're using 2 of these, so
Those are so cute. Yeah, check them after maybe 25 minutes, okay?
Thank you.
Yes. And then if they're not done, just give it like 5 more minutes and then 5 more minutes. I have Ella and Taya. What are you baking in? Do you want to show me what you're baking? What you guys are baking in? Okay, well, listen guys, just ask me if you're not sure, okay? I'm right here. I will help you. Yes, if you have a loaf pan, 55 minutes. If you have cupcake pans, check after 15 minutes. What you do is you take a toothpick and you insert it and it should come out clean, okay? Does anybody have a question?
I do. Can I put my batter into my pan?
Yes, I'm gonna do the same thing right now. My bowl is really heavy. Oy. And yes.
Look at what I made.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool. Oh my God. Yeah, Tristan made me masks too, and then he embroidered our initials in it. We made out of fabric.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I was thinking, I had from my unicorn kit, I have the unicorn iron-on patch. I think I'm gonna put my
That's
unicorn.
cool.
Yes.
We're gonna sign off. Thank you so much for today's class.
Absolutely, thank you so much. And share your pictures, please. And if you haven't, thank you. If you haven't liked me on Facebook, Bake Austin, Instagram, Bake Austin. I take donations if you guys want to help me out. And please share your pictures in the Facebook group. Thank you so much. And I'll be here until everybody's done. Yes.